more I look into it, the more I realize just how much audacity Christopher Nolan has. Like, the dude, besides all the stuff I said in the video that this comment is attached to, by the way, this is my mutual, go follow, I love her. For him to be insulted that his movie was released, or allegedly insulted that his movie was released the same weekend as Barbie, as if he's like, whatever. But just the running time. Look, Barbie, hour and 54 minutes. We know now that anything over 2 hours is going to get hard for people to watch. Why? Because we're so used to watching TikToks and have short attention spans. And a lot of us are more used to like series by now anyway. You can't make long movies, especially not for the neurodivergent. But with all the audacity, this man, 3 hours. 3 hours. I don't care how beautiful or how blue the eyes are of the actor, the amazing actor who's leading that I would love to just look at for 3 hours. Look at how beautiful he is. I can't watch anyone for 3 hours. And based on the trailer, I'm like, God, this looks boring. A boring movie about a loser who changed the world for the worse. Like in most parts of the world would be known as a villain, right? Now, this is the other issue I have. There's another creator on here talked about this. I'll try to tag him if I remember. This man just made quiet comeback. It's one thing if you quietly come back in smaller films, but a Christopher Nolan film, welcome back with open arms to a Christopher Nolan film. This guy, he's back now. Thanks, Christopher. Thank you. Let's just review. Why was Casey Affleck canceled? But we know white men never get canceled, right? They never do. But why was he? What is it he did? Him and his bros, because he just loves his buddies, his bros. They all made that film, I'm Still Here. And they terrorized the women on that set. And one of them was the director of photography. And one of them was a producer. Do you know how bad it has to be if they're harassing those two positions? Those people are above the line. And if you don't know anything about film, which I worked in the film industry in New York for several years, and every department below the line, which is basically the people who probably aren't paid enough, doing all the manual labor and blah, blah, blah. Props, set dressing, I was crafty, PA, costume, whatever. Those are the people who have no power. They have unions. Most of them do. Crafty doesn't, but don't really have power. This man was making the women above the line their life hell. Like, the director of photography is one of the most important positions. And the stuff, look, he made jokes about her having schmegs with the camera assistant, lewd comment. And then when they were on location or whatever, because they're too cheap or, just predators, they put her up in River Phoenix and Affleck's apartment or whatever. And he came in the middle of the night in just his underwear and a t-shirt and groped her. He had his arm around her, sorry, trigger warning, y'all, caressing her, clearly just totally wasted, but that does not excuse this. She had tried to get him to get out of the bed, and he slammed the door, but basically became somewhat violent when she was like, get out of here. This is at work, y'all. This is at work. When you are on location, you're at work. Even when you are not on set, you are at work when you're on location. And this is what they did. She quit the film, and then she came back, I guess, because they brought another woman on as a producer. But that didn't help, because this is a boys' club. Subjected to nearly daily barrage of schmexual comments, innuendos, and unwelcome schmexual advances by the crew members within the presence and with the active encouragement of Affleck. She was also berated and verbally attacked by Affleck after she refused his schmexual advances. She finally just left the film because of all the abuse and harassment. And then this dude was trying to take away her director of photography credit. Do you know what a big deal that is? Do you know how few director of photographers there are out there who are women? Yeah, the other one you probably know about got shot by Alec Baldwin because of his cheap ass not wanting to pay for the special person who deals with arms. He didn't want to pay them. He wanted to lump them in with... Anyway, oh God, the rest thing makes me so mad. I mean, also payment, right? The credit, y'all, the credit is so important. So after she filed a suit, Whitefield, the producer that they brought in, and another woman, she filed her own. Because apparently he was grabbing her in a hostile manner and, oh God. Oh, and also instructed a crew member to take off his pants and show her his... called her a cow. said stuff like, isn't it time you got pregnant? Now, again, as someone who worked in the film industry and in the comedy world, it is full of some of the most terrifying men. And, clearly not a lot has changed since Me Too ripped through Hollywood. They're just more careful about it. They hide it more. But all these guys are making comebacks because they never went anywhere. And they didn't even make amends. That's my biggest issue. You know what? I love to believe that people can change. But the most important part of that change is taking accountability for what you did and then change behavior. And this dude, Casey Affleck, because he's got that big, powerful, big brother he can hide behind, and all of his brother's friends like Matt Damon, and all those dudes, he can just hide in that circle and they can protect him. And so the fact that Christopher Nolan brought him into a movie that was already full of stars, they did not need this dude, brought him in, welcomed him back, and because Christopher Nolan signs off on him coming back, we all have to now. And which means that all these movies that are coming out, all these movies that he's been working on, will probably do well. Again, it is one thing when they try to sneak back in with these small things. Doesn't make it any better. But Christopher Nolan just co-signed all of this. And as I've said before, I've been making videos a lot about how much trauma women have around sleep. So many of us have been traumatized in our sleep by men in general, drunk men, family members, right? So much of us have been assaulted while we're just trying to relax and sleep. And not only did Casey Affleck do all that stuff to this woman while she was at work, sleeping, but at work. Again, when you were shooting, when you were shooting for 4 weeks or 6 weeks or 6 months, you are at work. You are a little family and you operate like a little family. You don't even see your own family when you are filming. That's one of the reasons why it's hard to have a family when you work in the film industry, because you are gone for so long. You're gone 16-hour days, weeks on end. The crew is your family. And Casey Affleck makes set families, very dangerous. And now not only is he acting again, he's directing, has all kinds of projects lined up. And Christopher Nolan just ushered in his success. Casey Affleck is yet another example, just like Louis C.K., who I was warned about repeatedly when I was doing comedy in LA, to watch out for this guy. Not like I was on shows with him, because I wasn't at that level, anywhere near that level. But everyone knew about this guy. And then it came out. He lost a couple opportunities, meh. And then he won a Grammy and sells out Madison Square Garden. And I would love to talk more about this dude. Let me know if you want to hear it. Men in Hollywood, especially the directors, set the tone for the industry, the powerful directors. They absolutely set the tone on those sets, and they determine what's safe, because they're like the leaders, and it is a trickle down thing. You can't tell me that a man who welcomes back Casey Affleck on his set is a safe man. He's an enabler, and enablers are just as dangerous as the men doing the stuff. But yay, Christopher Nolan, what a genius. Ugh.